And so then yesterday when we got interrupted in our Magic Online League, we were playing this deck. We were 2-0 up a game in the league, and the Magic Online decided to crash and burn. So we're going to be finishing that league. We are still 2-0 in the league, so still live for a trophy, I guess. Kozilek's command, in my opinion, did just have a Pro Tour that cards get banned for the kinds of Pro Tour Kozilek's command just had. um, and you know, it's kind of random when they actually decide to implement those bans. But it is like really clearly the best card in the format. I think it's a pretty repetitive card. It to some extent it feels like it will have to go at some point. I also you know this is even just more on a vibe based thing. Like I would like for the format to move away from a Johnny and Guide of Souls, despite these cards not being very dominant right now. I'm just so tired of these cards, and I think they make the format worse. And I'm just kind of forever in favor of moving on from those cards. I am also in favor of a Birthing Pod unban. So like my dream Monday would be like K Command, Guide / Pride ban, Birthing Pod unban, Shaman unban. That being said, I do think that the Birthing Pod unban and the Guide Pride ban, Guide to Johnny ban, are much less important than okay, hold on, sorry. Getting K Command out of the format. I guess I'm gonna go. So okay, so they're green setting for an Arbor on turn 1. This might mean that they're playing Trudge. If they are playing Trudge, Chalice is not very useful. Could they be playing really anything else? I guess they could be playing Yawgmoth. All right, let's play the Chalice this turn. That's a good way of putting it. Did K Command have available PT? Yes. Will they do it? I don't know. It's random. Exactly. It's just, it's, you know, despite like the Trudge deck having a better Pro Tour than Nadu did. Oh, it's probably the Devoted Druid deck that's been going around, because similar to the Cub combo deck, but people just still think Devoted Druid's a playable card. Although maybe it is a playable card here. Really good to Tyvar into Cub and Druid. You know, it's like it's just very random. Obviously, a much smaller sample size Trudge than Nadu, but we'll see. Yeah, I've seen that it's been doing well. I'm not convinced that it's better than the Cub build, but I could just be wrong. It is very similar. It's just kind of the same deck, and they're just also playing Devoted Druid. Probably is going to be pretty favored in this matchup too, for whatever that's worth. They have 2 mana post Druid here. Maybe I'm wrong too about Devoted Druid. Maybe Shang-Chi is just like that card for it. Although this deck is maybe playing Tyvar over Shang-Chi. Check the past few challenge. In the top 32 on average, there were only 5 decks for not K Commander Consigned. Wow, that is definitely lower than even lower than I would have expected. So if I exile the Devoted Druid, they can bring it back. Although I do think that we don't really have a different play besides exile the Druid and Scry Draw. 4 Tyvar, 1 Shang-Chi, 8 Tutors. Wow, that's a lot. Okay, so I definitely do want to keep this Emrakul, because in 2 turns I'll be able to madness it out. The Fleshraker's not... It's nice that it's something to do next turn, but it doesn't seem like it really... See, 2, 3, 4, 5... It doesn't seem like it really changes anything for me. So let's go ahead and just keep the Emrakul. I personally keep beating every Devoted Druid deck and losing to every Cub deck. I only played twice though. Yeah, my experience playing against Devoted Druid has been that I'm not as scared of it. I think it's just like it's a lot more weak to interaction than the Cub deck is, but I'm sure it's playable. I mean, it's playing most of the same cards. Do you think Trudge is completely dead without K Command? No, we played a couple versions without K Command. And like there's some real incentives to be like mono green. Like you get to play like 4 Mosswort Bridge, which is really nice. Primeval Titan for Mosswort Bridge is really cool. You get to be in on Castle Garenbrig. I think that there's a lot to like about those versions. They're not as good as the K Command builds, but I think they're still pretty good. So I should not have 6. We do have a Druid play similar. Yeah, it's pretty similar. I just think the Devoted Druid stuff does not make the deck better. Is sort of my thesis with the with the Druid deck, but I could be wrong. We maybe do need to play some of it. Canister with the raid. Hope you're all doing well. Seems like Druid is simply a reasonable 4 to play at the cost of playing one Vizier. And the cost of playing one Vizier is reasonable. Yeah, I agree that it is reasonable to play. So right now they have 3 mana. Oh, 4 mana with the Tyvar. So if they go for Nature's Rhythm, they can have infinite mana, and I guess I'll, because this is a sorcery, I'll be able to exile it with the Lantern. But if they have any other payoff, we lose. I do think that the Devoted Druid stuff is for sure better against like Tron type decks like ours, for whatever that's worth too. Yeah, Druid is good against Trudge. Yeah, maybe it is more of a metagame call too than I'm thinking. Opponent says I have a ballista. I'm telling them just cast it. X equals 1 and I'll concede. Okay, so we're down a game against Devoted Druid. Needle does stop Devoted Druid and Tyvar Cage pretty good too. I'm gonna be cutting these Chalice of the Voids. Don't really have a lot else for the matchup. Maybe a bad matchup. We could play extra Thought-Knot Seers if we wanted. Try to find. I guess I want to cut a Vexing Bauble, so that's room for another Seer. I don't think I really care to have the Lantern, even if sometimes it could stack Nature's Rhythm. This is probably fine. This is probably fine. Yeah, let's keep this on the play for game 2. Basically, only Boros, Devoted Druid, and Yogg are the only decks that didn't have K Commander could say. Yeah, it's definitely it definitely feels like it has devolved into that in a big way. So, I would love for the format to move on. I'm a little bit curious like what the format would look like if both K Command and Consign were banned, but it is kind of interesting. Like if K Command is banned, how much play does Consign to Memory see in the format? If it's still a 4 of in every sideboard, then it probably needs to go. Isn't the promo K Command that would incite sadness? Yeah, they have printed promos and reprints of cards that get banned, despite the fact that these reprints are coming up. It's happened a bunch of times. Monstrous Rage, Uro, Splinter Twin all come to minds of cards that have been reprinted and banned like around the same time. And so people always act like this is like people really try to get in the head and like find a method to the ban list philosophy, but the bans in Magic have always been very vibe based, and they seem like they'll continue to be pretty vibe based. Yeah, I think Grief and Fury too. It's never seemingly stopped Wizards from banning something. As somebody who doesn't play a lot of Standard, it does still shock me that the card Monstrous Rage was banned. Like that a combat trick like that can be a ban-worthy card even in a Standard format. And I did play some, and I maybe I was just always playing decks that were good against Monstrous Rage, but I was just kind of shocked. Okay, on the play. Okay, so we can go turn 2 Seer with this hand. A year ago, we were talking about Amulet needed ban. Is that still on the block or my mind, or we're talking about K Command because it's more pertinent to go? I mean, Amulet is still really, really powerful. I still kind of philosophically disagree with the idea that you should ban a weaker card in a deck to allow a stronger card to continue to survive. That being said, I do think that the banning of Lotus Field, it's hard to really argue that the Amulet deck is in need of a ban at the moment. So I'm not really gunning for them at the moment. Galax with the 31 months, welcome back. So they're going to be fetching a Dryad Arbor. I guess it's nice to have a Field of Ruin here. Do you think I just want to play the Seer? Interesting to draw the Emrakul while we've got the Geier Reach. Could set up for that this game. If we draw a Temple or Lab, we could go Field of Ruin plus Seer next turn. So they're going to have 3 mana next turn, but they won't have black mana to cast Tyvar if they get the Dryad Arbor. And the Tyvar is also, in theory, weaker to the Seer, so I think I'm just going to take the Nature's Rhythm. The Cauldron itself is like probably pretty weak in this. One thing I have historically not liked a lot about Cauldron in I've not liked about Cauldron in Devoted Druid is you're kind of reliant on your opponent killing your creatures for you. Like you do have some self mill, like you've got the Tyvar mill. Maybe you're playing Rumble, although I don't know that they are playing Rumble. But if that doesn't happen, like it's really hard to like activate Agatha's Soul Cauldron beneficially. They only play one Vizier. They do, although I feel like it's probably better to take the Nature's Rhythm still. I might take the Vizier with the second Seer. Now they do have Beseiju, and one big problem here is I don't have a basic Swamp or basic that's not in my deck that's not a waste. So this is just 2 mana. This is just a Stone Rain because I cannot get wastes. Now they do decide to go ahead and Surveil instead of getting the Dryad Arbor because they feel like they need the black mana. It makes sense, Val. Thanks for the Twitch Prime. They do keep a card on the top of their deck. They play the Forest. Then they have a little think. Is a Salty Ritual deck more for fun or a real idea for later? It's just like almost every deck that comes to the stream, a deck that tested well enough off stream to play on stream, and I'm not sure exactly how good it is, but I've been working on it for a while. Seems like they've settled on Beseiju. Oh no, Green Sun for 1. For a Birds of Paradise. Interesting. I wonder if they chose to Surveil because I have the Field of Ruin. I wonder how much that factored into their decision this game. Just Thought-Knot Seer beat down. Yeah, I think I got to take the Tyvar. Although, I don't know. Maybe they don't have anything in the yard for Tyvar. Possibly I'm a little too scared of it. But, like, the Tyvar from last game, like, they just didn't have anything in the graveyard. And then they hit the Devoted Druid. And, like, with the Leyline in play, hitting Devoted Druid off the Tyvar is pretty scary. They play Beseiju as a land. And they top deck a Tyvar. So I guess you win some and you lose some. They mill a Nature's Rhythm, so they do gain some value there. But aside from that, they brick on the Tyvar. They're not going to get any creatures back, and then the Tyvar is probably going to die to the Seer. So now they can play either Vizier or Birds of Paradise from their hand, and then we're going to take, I assume, the last card with the Seer. Maybe I'll Field of Ruin the Underground Mortuary. Yeah, challenges at 10 a.m. CST, so about 40 minutes. I'll say Claws played way better than I thought it would. Sadly, a better version of Severance Priest. Well, Priest is usually better on turn 3, but it's pretty similar, yeah, and much more castable. What version of Trudge would you say is better between the Eldrazi and Mono Green Titan? Eldrazi, I think, is like certainly the better of the two decks, but Mono Green is at least interesting if Kozilek's command were ever illegal in Modern. Can they combo it off? You exile the one of Vizier. I guess they probably aren't doing any of the Spring Hunt Nantuko or Shia stuff, Quarian Ranger stuff. But we'll see, I guess. It's like 2016. Just cast 3 Thought-Knot Seers and you can't lose. Yeah, typically it's only one Vizier. I just didn't know if they have other non-devoted Druid combos. I don't think that they do. I don't think that they do. Seems like my opponent's thinking about cauldroning the Aurora Boroid to put a counter on the Birds of Paradise. Instead, they just exile my Field of Ruin. Should have ignored Tyvar, right? Why? Tyvar seems pretty dangerous with the Nature's Rhythm in the graveyard. Like, they could go untap the Birds of Paradise with Tyvar, make 2 mana, and they could Nature's Rhythm to get a Devoted Druid and then have 4 more mana. I mean, with the Vizier exiled, then maybe that's not so scary, but I'm still like forcing a chump block next turn. Have I tested double major and 4-color Shardless Ritual and 4-color Shardless Ritual? If you are lucky enough to cascade into it, you get 2 Shardless plus 1 Ritual. Okay, what is double major? Card. Double major. Copy target creature spell you control, except it isn't legendary if the spell is legendary. So I would imagine that this only copies the spell, right? This should only copy the Shardless Agent itself. I don't believe you would get the cast trigger on Shardless Agent. Kind of good with Solitude, though. They could technically go infinite with Leyline and Druid with enough mana adders like Cub. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's see. So I'm 1 mana short if I draw a Temple of Madnessing in the Emrakul off the Geier reach. It's interesting that they are taking so long. I think I'm just going to main phase Geier reach while they have no card in their hand, although maybe this is a problem with the Cauldron. Discard the waste, I guess. Discard a forest, and then we'll play this and attack. No real decisions. Did I consider Elven Raftseer for the Bant Nightfall type decks when creating my PowerPoint video? So Bant Nightfall is just honestly not a deck that I consider a deck anymore. You know, I just don't think it's like a deck that you should really consider as playable. So this when it enters, so that's okay. That's Rift Sweeper. Maybe they don't have the Hobbit cards, but I don't remember which card Raft Steerer was. But usually, if it's like an upgrade for an archetype like Bant Nightfall, I just kind of don't mention it. Although I don't see any card called Raft Steerer. Oh, there's Elven Raft Steerer. Okay, so this is when a land you control enters, choose one, untap target. Oh yeah, so this is just the creature retreat to Core Helm. Yeah, I did not think that this card was very interesting. Did not think this card was very interesting. All right, so you have a lot of mana with the. This is going to be 6. They have 9 mana. They have the Nature's Rhythm in the yard. We'll see if they could get out of this. I guess they can exile the Aurora Boroid, and then they can have 11 mana, so they can Nature's Rhythm X equals 7 if they didn't draw land. Yeah, I know it's sad, but it's just like I cannot imagine Raftseer plus Knight of the Reliquary is playable. As fun as it is to imagine you Coco into to the end of turn. But it's also like sometimes you just gotta like look at what the format is. I know this might sound kind of obvious, but you can kind of be shrouded in mist of modern and old. But can you imagine trying to do that against Boros Energy, the Solitude deck against Goryo's? Maybe it'd be fine against Affinity. Might be fine against some of the Eldrazi variants. Against Storm, against Prowess. It just seems so tough. Okay, this is last 30 days, last 7 days. Oh, Trudge is the top Eldrazi deck. New Emmy seems really rough to cast. It hasn't been too bad. I mean, we're in a game where we like, you know, we're on the like a triple Thought-Knot Seer draw, but usually if you just draw a Saga, Emrakul is really easy to cast, and if not, you imprint it and you can cast it, hard cast it sometimes. Is there any room for Aurora Boroid and Trudge? I had it in my earlier drafts of the deck, and I found myself like never green sunning for it. And then I also found that, you know, in the games I did draw it, you just don't really go wide enough for Aurora Boroid to be good. Like the only time you have a big board is when you cast a big K command, and of course you just never lose when you cast a big K command. So they get a Duskwatch Recruiter here. If they had had a Vizier, they could have made 2 infinite power creatures off the ley line, and maybe also just had another payoff. I don't know why they're doing this. They grab a Badgerable Cub. I guess they can. Okay, they can make 2 more mana, right? They can make 2 more mana because they can Cauldron the Aurora Boroid on the Devoted Druid, and they can untap, and then they can cast the Cub, but the Cub is not doing anything. Got here. Love to see Loose Leaf. How's it been feeling? It's been feeling pretty good. I don't know if we're gonna do this, but it does sort of feel like it would be potentially a natural upgrade for Tron. Maybe to get enough blockers. I guess. I don't know. All right, game 3 on the draw. A little bit scared of being on the draw here. Got no Dismembers in the deck because we're in on the page tech here. One thing that I think we might do on Monday for the challenge is we might play Trudge, and we might. I'm thinking I might just be playing more copies of Mosswort Bridge. Like I might just be playing the full 4, but I want to be. This is something I wanted to play test last weekend, and I didn't get to because of the Hobbit video. So I'm gonna try this off stream and take a peek at it. Okay, so we could go turn 2 Chalice X equals 2, and we could go turn 3 Ugin. Kind of hard to mulligan a turn 3 Ugin in this matchup. Is Academy Ruins better? Maybe better than Field? Well, we totally can't activate it at all, so I don't see how it would be. Where the Everflowing Chalice is for casted with stuff. So what it's for is I can cast it with mana, and then it can give me more mana to cast some big stuff. I've seen some people play Hedron Archive. It's like the 4 mana double Mind Stone, taps for 2, sacks to draw 2. And I mostly think Everflowing Chalice is better, where it's just a lot more flexible to when to cast, although you can't draw cards off of it. Do you think there's a sizable chance they ban Temple or Labyrinth instead of K Command? I mean, they could do anything. Like Wizards does do things at random. I think it makes like almost no sense to ban the mana producing card instead of the card that's costed too cheaply. Does that make sense? And I also just I literally can't stop thinking about this comment that was made, and I feel bad if it feels like I'm picking on them too much, but I just remember a chatter saying something along the lines of, "Why would they ban Kozilek's command? It's just a role player for the deck. It's a role player for the Eldrazi deck." And like I just keep thinking the role that it plays is doing everything. It's crazy to call that card a role player. And so people definitely just don't really have normal thoughts on Kozilek's command. It seems I don't really know how else to put that. But the takes are not very normal when it comes to Kozilek's command. All right, so we got to live this next turn. It's an important step. The role it plays is doing everything in every matchup and being the best card on every turn. It's just so funny to me. Do you think they should unban Jittig? Yeah, in the announcement they should go, "Hey guys, could you play some decks with Umezawa's Jitte? You may have not noticed we unbanned it." Guys, you may not have noticed Umezawa's Jitte is unbanned. Good on turn 1. It is actually good on turn 1. Sometimes, not very often, but if you're on the draw against a Johnny, you can kill the token draw card. If you're up against Dried Arbor, you can kill the Arbor draw card. But it's not very often good on turn 1. But sometimes sometimes you keep Temple 3K commands, you just cycle at turn 1. And not too often. Yeah, BNR is on Monday, which is why we're chatting about it so much. We're banning and re-unbanning Jitte. Please play it. Please. I just remember it was I think it was post MH3. I don't know. It was back when I still used Twitter, but I remember I called Umezawa's Jitte unplayable on Twitter, and literally I've never had more people angry at me on the internet than for anything I've ever done than say on Twitter that Umezawa's Jitte would not be a playable modern card. People were so upset. It was so funny. Mom with the 61 months, thank you, welcome back. It was so funny. Spike, do you think they'll finally ban Gravecrawler? No, too good. Too powerful. I top 8 challenge you. Did you? That's cool. What were you playing? One of my friends who plays, also my opponent has 5 minutes. I'm up 16 minutes. This is crazy. My opponent a friend of mine who's helping work on the game where me and my friends are making, who plays Magic. He plays Commander and he plays Magic casually in general. I told him that Jitte was unbanned in Modern, and he's like, "Oh, is it like taking over the format? Is it really good?" Was his question, which is very cute. Okay, so this was their turn. They played a lot of Mana Dorks. We're gonna cast an Ugin. Ooh, I drew a cookbook, which means I get to exile 2 things. It's great. For those of you who almost saw me imprint the Ugin to the Ugin's lab, mind your business. That's his lab, man. What's the problem? Oh, we drew our role player. And I know I'm a little annoying by calling with the role player meme, calling it so much, but it's just so funny to call this card a role player. The role it plays is it does everything in every matchup. No challenge. As always, the challenges on Fridays start an hour after the stream start time, 10 a.m. my time, in about 30 minutes. Hardest core, the 34 months. Welcome back. Just had to check if I give you one for the game yet. I love that you're saying this, but in December, we're hoping pre-orders will be available. I'm I'm doing a production weekend at my house. Right now it's scheduled for the first week of December, where I'm flying some content creators out, and we're going to be recording gameplay of the game. We're going to be recording how to play stuff, just a bunch of stuff, so I can have a lot of content for it. And we'll be releasing. We'll be releasing that over the course of a few months, and um, getting that out there. And I'm really excited about it. Really excited about the people who are joining up for the production. I have a production budget too, which is not something not something I've ever had before, but I have a budget. Is Dingo included? Um no. I love Dingo. I'm trying to get I just try to get the biggest gamers I can get, you know what I mean? But Dingo is at the moment for me an alternate. Yeah, they've all signed NDAs. We got a very professional operation here. I guess I should have drawn after casting a K Commander too, although how could anything matter here? Okay, so we're 3-0 in this league. We were up at we maybe we were up a game in this match yesterday that got nullified with Magic Online crashing. So let's get a trophy prediction. So I guess we're gonna go turn 2 Fleshraker plus Vexing Bauble. Yeah, I've come out of retirement to stream today, makeshift. Yeah, I know he mostly does Riftbound. He's telling me a lot about the game. He likes it a lot. I've tried to watch a couple of the Riftbound streams, but I don't really know how to play the game. Oh my gosh, sorry. I've played the Vexing Bauble in turn 1 after wanting to have held it. Although it's not like this is an unreasonable thing to do, I guess. I guess we do this also. I could maybe just go turn 2 Fleshraker, then turn 3 K Command, turn 4 Ugin. That might even be better. Yeah, Caverns doesn't tap for colors if you luck counter it. I did think about playing one anyways. What am I doing with Anzid? I had an ad. So I've been working on a game with a team of about 10 people for about 3 years. And this December, I'm going to be doing a production weekend with him, running things to film some content for the game and be able to show it off when we do our game announcement this December. And I'm so excited to say more, but you can't coax more out of me at this juncture. So they go Wooded Foothills, Stomping Ground, Grazer. So if they have Flare of Cultivation in their hand, we are stopping that in its tracks here, I guess. Can you say how many vowels? You know, you guys are really good at coaxing info out of me. The title of the game, which actually had changed. We went from a 3-vowel game to a 2-vowel game. We had our game name locked for about 2 years, and then a different game released with the same name. A different game released with the same name, so we had to change. Fetch shock. So they're not playing creativity if they have Grazer. Yeah, so there's a Dryad. So, and they don't have another land to play. So I'm gonna take up the Saga. It's hard not to play K Command this turn because it's in my hand here. So let's plan on that. Did you start the game project or did other people reach out? So me and my best friend, best man at my wedding, I was helping him move his dogs across the country because they can't fly. So we road tripped out to Utah. One weekend just to move his dogs, and I just went along to keep him company. And then on the way over, we just kind of started talking about game theory and crafting and stuff, just to like pass the time. And that like 12-hour, 20-hour conversation was the initial inciting incident for the game. And then we were kind of looking at our game group that we have, and it turned, and we the team just ended up being really good for game production. Like we have someone who owns a print shop. We have a professional artist. We have a software developer. We have hold on. I'm gonna grab my basic waste here. We have a software developer. We have a architect who's really good at like a lot of the borders, the design stuff. We have me. We have a finance guy. The team just ended up. We have Esther who has marketing research major. So like the team ended up just being really ideal for game making, kind of incidentally. So it is just a team of us idiot friends, but I would not have it any other way. Possibly it's just better to go for Emrakul because I'm attacking for 12 next turn. I can see that being the case, actually. They have a second copy of a road. Okay. Sure. And we've added some other people. We added an investor come in too who we played a bunch with and likes the game, gave us a funding deal. And you know now he's also like a software dev, and he's like already developed an internal tool for the team and has been really helpful. Also has, you know, some real business experience too. They get a Sakura Tribe Elder. So if I go Fleshraker, Mindstone, I guess that's not enough, so just play the Mindstone. So I guess before they can play their second land, let's Madness the Emrakul. This effect is just so powerful and so hard to play. Just 6 mana, steal all your creatures. 12/12 flying, protection from most things. So far, do you prefer the Zemo mono black versions over typical Archon Persist? I think I do, yeah. You're more resilient, your draws are more consistent, although you don't have as good nut draws. You still have very good late game. Oh yeah, we could ice till back our Saga. Okay, so we're up a game against Naya Scapeshift, by the looks of it. They did seem to have a lot of 1-drops. So I'm interested probably in 2 or 3 Chalice of the Voids. I think I gotta be playing all 4 copies of Thought-Knot Seer. If they're playing Grazer, they probably do have Flare, but Vexing Bauble in the draw may not be so good. I think I'm gonna cut the Lantern. They are playing Greenstone Zenith. I think I'm interested in the Cage. I think I might trim and Ugin. I don't think they're gonna be that heavy on the permanents. Did we finish Yesterday? That's what this is we're finishing this one. We're 3-0. And up a game. I feel like Eldrazi decks like Trudge/Ram should play Aurora board to go nuts with spawns or randoms. I had it in my earliest drafts and it just didn't test very well and it ended up being, I think, a good cut. But I did have it in my first drafts, thinking the same thing, but it just I ended up figuring out that like usually with Green Sun, like if you don't have Trudge, you want Trudge in play, and if you have Trudge in play and you have a lot of mana, you just want to get Disciple of Freylius to draw a bunch of cards. And it was just really I don't think I ever once Green Sun for Aurora Boroid, because if I had a big K command, the turn before, I just had action to play off of it, and I didn't need to like just go wide. Does this deck go over the top of everything? I'd say most things. There's always a bigger fish. Sounds beautiful. Put on a mold to 6. So if we draw, I guess we'd have to draw. Oh no, we just have to draw one single double land, a temple or lab, and we can turn 3 Emrakul. Yeah, I did reveal we transitioned from a 3-val game to a 2-val game. Because we had our name locked for about 2 years, and then someone else released with the same name. All right, so we'll see if we can find a second temple or a first lab here. How greedy it's a little greedy to graveyard this. I think I'm gonna be a little greedy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how right this was, but I'm gonna cast a Seer, which should be a good card here. And if they want to erode this, that's gonna be okay. We need the mana anyways. They have fire magic in their deck? Dude, Wizards of the Coast! My opponent is boarding in fire magic against Kozilek's command! TVE with the 9 months, thank you, welcome back. They graveyard a Valakut. They play a Windswept Teeth. Pass the turn. Seems like I should Seer since making spawn. My cake event only does one thing instead of two. I guess I could just exile there. I could just exile the Valakut too, maybe. What do you think about the Reality Fracture? Reality Fracture Salt Vampire. Dude, I'm taking it one set at a time. I haven't looked at any of the Reality Fracture or Star Trek stuff yet. Is Illness Ranks worth cyber card? Neuters Pride and K-Command? It does not neuter K-Command. If you have an Illness of the Ranks against Kozilek's command, you've spent a card, you've spent a mana, and they just choose 2 different modes. They just choose 2 different modes on the Kozilek's command. Now just kill your creature and scry draw. Does not neuter Kozilek's command. Soul Vampire is Star Trek, and it's Little Baby Thought-Knot Seer. Sounds interesting. It's a pretty good Force of Vigor. Well timed as well. So the page is another Kozilek's command. I think I'm keeping just all of these. Maybe I'm overvaluing being able to hardcast the Emrakul. Especially because I'm not hardcasting it this turn. So my opponent has got 2 turns to draw a 3rd copy of Erode or to kill me with Scapeshift. The life gain off the Ugin means that they... I mean, I guess I wouldn't be dead to landscape shift anyways. Yeah, I do think it's good against Brood-Scale. Illness in the ranks. I think it's gotten better against Boros. It may be like genuinely good against Boros now. They're tapping for a green. Then they play a land and they pass the turn. Okay, so let's tutor a Kozilek's command. I want to see if I can find 3rd copy of Thought-Knot Seer, but I also want to be. I guess I should wait on the Ugin plus. Yeah, I want to draw 2 cards here, like maybe like Seer plus Grafdigger's Cage. I guess how close am I to playing Emrakul the Promised End? So it costs 9. So I guess if for that I would have to. I guess I could just draw a land and then I could cast. I have played a land this turn. I have an artifact. I was thinking maybe I could draw Chalice on 0. There is a Thought-Knot Seer. I just have to be kind of mindful because If I Emrakul the Promised End, does it really change very much? Chalice and 4. Oh, Chalice and 4 actually does seem the best, yeah. I think that's a good call. So I guess if I'm going to Chalice and 4, I don't want the Seer, huh? And then next turn, the Ugin ultimate wins with the Glaring Fleshrakers. Can we fail to find for Scape Shift? So we can. So if they are, I don't think that they already have Scape Shift in their hand. They might. And that would be bad, obviously. But the Emrakul is weak to them top decking the Scape Shift after we cast it. So usually when you're so far ahead like this, you just try to find the way you lose the least often, and I think this is it. I like that this also turns off Force of Vigor. So it's not like they can force it. It'd be maybe kind of funny if we get eroded on the Ugin. But it says GG's to you. Alright, so we are 4-0 in this league. 4-0, and then we were up a game here, and this got nullified. So that's pretty exciting. We already did our trophy prediction. So maybe I want to go turn 1 Saga Expedition map, turn 2 make Saga tokens. Not often you want to do that. This is for the trophy. I think I am gonna take that line. What are my thoughts on Red White Hall 1? I think the deck's really good. I do think at the moment, I do think it's better than Rakdos. I've been playing against it more and more, and I think now I can feel confident saying that. I wasn't 100% sure for a little bit. So this is for the trophy. We're on the play against a Inquisition of Kozilek off of a Blooming Marsh. Interesting. Round 1 of the challenge was against Neoform, and we did lose. So I do think I'm going to make a construct here. I might not make a second construct, and I might just Chalice X equals 2 next turn. We'll see. Then crack this. Yeah, it seems like maybe they're playing the Cosmogoyf deck. Cosmogoyf Necro. And if that's the case, just dealing them a bunch of damage is pretty nice. And so I think I'm just going to do that. I'm going to make another construct, and then I'm going to get a Vexing Bauble, because Vexing Bauble is nice against the Soul Spikes. So they don't cast Plunge into Darkness, like I thought they might there. They do play a 3rd land. Yeah, so now facing down 8 power, 10 power next turn. Yeah, it's pretty awkward with the Vexing Bauble out there. I don't know what the right amount of life to pay is. Chalice for 0 for the extra 1 damage. I don't think that that's better than getting X equals 2. But I did think it might be a real consideration. And so it looks like they pay enough life to where this Chalice from hand is just going to kill them. And they just concede the game before that can even happen. Okay. I guess their hand sucked. So we win game 1. That's great. I do want to trophy this league. Bounce back from the tough round 1 of the challenge a little bit. So this is the Cosmogoyf Fling deck, I would imagine. Although they conceded before, we got that for sure. I built the deck, so surely I should be able to sideboard against it. Chalice on 2 is like unlosable if that's the deck. So let's just have 4 mana win the games in the deck, I suppose. The Vexing Bauble's good. We can cut the Lantern. I think I do want to play the Seers, especially because they mulligan so aggressively. We could probably trim a Ugin and Ugin. I think I want to keep it on my 2 mana rock so I can try to Chalice on 2 more aggressively. Trinisphere. I think Chalice is a little bit better than Trinisphere. Although Trinisphere is good. Maybe we just do want to play this also. Maybe the Seers are bad. Maybe we don't want the Seers. I don't know. The Seers are also they're definitely worse on the draw. They're definitely worse on the draw. I think I really want them on the play, and then on the draw they can just be too slow sometimes. Like they just play the Necro unless we have turn 2. Okay. Okay, I think we'll do that. I don't think we need World Anew at all. We need the imprintables. I guess probably 3rd Ugin's better than 4th World Anew. Can't mulligan this. My opponent does mulligan their 7. Their deck is a deck that mulligans a lot. And then they Serum Powder. So yeah, that is the build they're playing, the Rite of Consumption build. Nice. I did like this deck a lot. I think I got a little lost in the sauce with some of the versions. So maybe they have Duress and Inquisition, and they're wondering which one to play first. They're probably going to take the K command. Maybe a little bit of a thought to take my turn 1 play off the Mind Stone, especially if they just have a second discard spell. I did think that these kind of matchups were favorable for their deck when we were playing it, so I'm a little scared. But I'm happy to be up a game. The fact that they haven't immediately... They took Glaring Fleshraker, which I was not expecting. One notable thing is they don't usually play any... Or I wasn't playing any basic forest when I built their deck, so we may be able to Field of Ruin them off of green. So, very interesting they left me with Mindstone K command. That would imply that they're trying to discard spell the K command this turn. Maybe they have Break the Ice. Which, at that point... Okay, I was not playing this card. Play land, then cast Spoils. I did think about playing Spoils. Maybe Spoils is good. We trophy! Maybe Spoils is not so good. Maybe Spoils is not so good. So this was our first league with this deck we trophied. Nice. Chests, not so good. Oh, Jitte! That's a modern unbanned card. Yeah, it's a 5.5 and 0. Yeah, they played Spoils in the Jund build. I think that build maybe makes more sense to play Spoils because you're faster. I think it's really tough to like ever Spoils for Necro. What did the name? I didn't actually look, but that was why I wasn't playing it in the deck. I don't have the stomach for it. Maybe we could probably get another match in before round 2 of the challenge starts. Cool to trophy. You'll pay out the believers. Maybe should have YOLO this deck in the challenge, although it's not like this deck is particularly good against Neoform. Guess we have